Week 0 time, baby. Week
go.
0 time. Week 0's it's a fascinating thing. It's very interesting because it's not week 1. Let's not get confused. It's not as exciting as week 1, but it means college football's back, and that is just the greatest thing that anyone can ever hear is that college football's back. And week 0 has been entertaining over the past 5 or 6 years. Last year, of course, my goodness, what a week 0. Georgia Tech taking down number 10 Florida State. They were top 10 to start the year.
In Ireland.
And that set off a terrible season for the Seminoles. So that was a really fun week 0 last year. Year before that, Vanderbilt almost lost to Hawaii in 2023 in week 0. In 2022, Northwestern took down Nebraska in an awesome game in Ireland. 2019, in my opinion.
Florida, Miami.
Yes.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the best week 0 game of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
Think so?
I loved that game. That game was so awesome. I think Florida was ranked number 8 at the time.
Yeah.
And Miami went in there in Orlando and gave them a great game. It was super fun to watch. Felipe Franks, I believe, was the quarterback.
Yeah, he was.
And I don't know. I had fun watching that game. Thought it was an awesome
I
way to start the
don't
season.
remember a lot of that one, but I feel like it was not a great game. I don't know why I was like it was not a great game, but
I think it was fun
Was it
just
good? Was it
because
a good one?
number 8 Florida was on the ropes.
yeah.
And then Miami took it to them, and it was a rivalry game. And it was fun to watch. This year, we have, I think, a fascinating game.
Conference game.
A conference
Already,
game.
week 0 in Ireland.
Yep.
Weird.
And I feel like no one's been talking about this game. No one, at least
Really?
in the major media, have I heard
That's true.
breaking down Iowa State and Kansas State. But these are two contenders in the Big 12.
Yeah,
I mean, you could say everyone's a contender in the Big 12, but
Which is true, I think, in some ways.
it is definitely true. I mean, the Big 12 is wide open. But Iowa State and Kansas State are two good teams.
Yeah, right.
So I'm excited to see this game. I think it's going to be awesome to watch. Kansas State is a 3-point favorite as of right now in that game.
Yep.
So that'll be 11 o'clock, ESPN. Game day will be there in the morning.
Yeah.
And then the night game on Fox at 5:30 Central Time is Fresno State at Kansas. That game is a little bit less exciting, but Kansas, that's another team, could make noise in the Big 12. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Jalen Daniels.
Yep, Jalen Daniels. That's why I'm excited to watch this game. Is because we don't really know what version of Jalen Daniels we're gonna get.
Yeah, last year was weird, dude. Like, he was not great last year. He was pretty inconsistent, so I'm excited to see what he's got this year.
He's played like the best quarterback in the Big 12 at times,
Yeah.
and then other times he's looked awful.
I agree. I'll tell you, another guy that is like that is Kyron Drones. Kyron Drones I thought he didn't have a good year last year.
I
It was
guess
a consistent play, I felt like.
definitely. No, I agree with that.
I don't know. That was random, but I felt like.
That was a good shout. Good shout. I think Kansas was interesting last year. They started the year ranked in a lot of polls, and then they lost. They won their first game. I think they won 48-3 against like Lindenwood or something like
I
that.
remember that. It was on a Thursday.
Yeah, and then they lost 6 games in a row to start the year. It was awful. And people are like, what happened to this team? You have a draft pick at running back in Devin Neal,
Yeah.
and you have a quarterback who the year before looked amazing.
Yeah, he was great.
What happened? And
They made
then
him
to
relevant.
finish the year,
Yeah.
they won 4 or 5 games, 3 against top 20 teams.
I remember
That is crazy. They had an unbelievable, wild year over in Kansas. So against Fresno State, who is not bad. That is not a bad Group 5 team.
Not
It's
bad
going to be
team.
interesting to see
Mhm.
what version of Jalen Daniels we get. The Jayhawks are favored by 13, so they should win. We can do our first game pick here. I'm picking Kansas.
I'm also going to go Kansas. I think Kansas is going to be fine. I feel like they cover as well. But it's going to be a pretty solid game, I feel like. Because Fresno's not a bad team. Not a bad team. Kind of a dangerous one.
Yeah, definitely. So that'll be fun to watch. But let's get into the marquee matchup of Saturday.
Let's go.
11 a.m. Central Time, kickoff between the Cyclones and the Wildcats. Will, take it away. What are your thoughts on this game?
I'm super excited. I mean, you look at what Pro Chris Kleiman and what Pro Campbell's also done there. I was about to say the Lions coach, Dan Campbell. Joe bite a kneecap off. What Matt Campbell's done there at ISU is, I mean, they have done incredible jobs because they have had less than some other like places, but they have made them pretty good, like programs. Like they're not going to the national championship every year, but they've had some good years, and the way they can develop players, Brock Purdy, low recruit, the way they were able to, he was amazing towards the end of the year. So two very similar kind of teams in my opinion, similar coaches. They both return their quarterbacks. They both have some little holes though. The wide receiving core with the Cyclones, I don't know what we're going to get out of that. They lost a couple guys. Jaden Higgins went to the Texans.
Yes, sir. And Jalen Noel.
So they got two guys. And then for Case, and there's just, I don't know. It's going to be exciting though. I'm excited about it. I can't wait. Week 0, baby. We're so close. 2 more days. And it's going to be great, I think.
I'm excited for it too. I mean, Iowa State always seems to be that sort of team where you go through the first half of the college football season and you're watching marquee matchups in the SEC. You're watching marquee matchups in the Big Ten. And that's where your attention is. That's where the media's attention is. What did Alabama just do? Or Georgia, or Ohio State, or Penn State, or Michigan? And then you look at the AP poll and you see, wow, Iowa State is 7-0. And they're number 13 in the country. And if someone doesn't beat them soon, they can make the playoffs. It seems like Iowa State does that every year. And they almost made it. They were a game away last year from making the playoffs. If they had beaten Arizona State in the Big 12 championship game, they would have been in.
I know. Crazy.
So, yeah, heck of a job that Matt Campbell's done at that program.
Incredible.
As you said, they don't have many resources.
Yeah.
They don't have a ton of NIL money. If you look at their roster, most of their recruits are 3 stars.
Or 4, every now and then.
Every now and then, it's like a rarity that they get 4-star.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
they
don't even sniff 5 stars.
3 at last class. So that's pretty good.
And it's a solid class, I agree with that.
A quarterback, an offensive tackle, and a linebacker. So.
But most of them, like you said, are guys that are not highly recruited, that stick in the program, that develop. And that's refreshing to see in the sport of college football.
Definitely.
Because we don't really see very much of that these days. But I think it's great to see.
I think so too.
So I really like Iowa State. We can start at Iowa State.
Okay. I do too.
With the Cyclones, of course, they returned Rocco Becht. That guy's awesome.
He's
I really
great.
like him. He's a wizard.
Yeah.
He had 3,500 passing yards last year, which is a really good amount.
Yeah.
He had 25 touchdowns to only 9 interceptions. The only critique that I have about Rocco Becht is his completion percentage. It was 59% last year, which is on the low side. So he's not the most efficient passer. He makes some mistakes, but last year is last year. So maybe he's developed some of that to become better. He also added 318 yards rushing and 8 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's a runner too.
Yep, he's athletic. He's 6'1", 210 pounds, so he can get out there. They also return Carson Hansen, their running back, and your man,
Abu Sama. Abu Sama's good. I want to say something again about Rocco Becht. If you have a chance, go watch the game versus Iowa last year. His accuracy was great in that game. I went back and I watched some highlights of his, and he was great in that. I remember watching a little bit of that. I think that was week 2 when Alabama was playing USF. And, I think that was an afternoon game and I watched it, but he was really good in that. So I just wanted to put that out. Yeah. I like Rocco Becht a lot though.
Me too.
I think he's great,
And he's experienced.
He is.
He's got 2 seasons starting under his belt. This is his 3rd. That's what you want in a week 1 or week 0 game. Is an experienced quarterback that goes out there and knows how to win football.
Yes, and Rocco was a guy who came out of nowhere in 2023. Because we kind of knew about him last year a little more than 2023. He just came out of nowhere and he was great. And so it's going to be interesting. Well, I wouldn't say great, but was solid. And I'm excited to watch him.
Definitely, me too. He's also been great in big games. He was really good against Miami. Like you said, he's good against Iowa. So he shows up when it matters most. I will say last year against Kansas State, he had a rough game. He went 13 for 35 against Kansas last year. Or Kansas State.
Yeah.
But
and they almost won still.
They did.
Only lost by 8. So
it was a good game.
It was close. Yeah.
Rocco needs to play better in this one than he did a year ago.
Sure.
Hansen and Abu Sama coming back is big. Hansen had 752 rushing yards last year, 13 rushing touchdowns, averaged 5 yards a carry.
Good.
Abu Sama had somewhere in the neighborhood of 550 yards rushing last year. So they return a dynamic duo of rushing attacks. They're both healthy. They both know what running in the Big 12 looks like. They don't know what running in Ireland looks like, but they know what running against Kansas State looks like.
Really, nobody does though, you know.
Other than Haynes
Maybe
King.
Jamal Haynes.
Yeah, that's true.
Georgia Tech, Roy Williams, those guys. But
That's
it's gonna be interesting.
It will be.
Those are two great running backs. It's gonna be awesome to watch those guys play. And I believe in the game versus ASU last year, I think Carson Hansen was hurt, so they just had Sama, if I remember correctly. So it's huge that they are healthy.
It definitely is.
You said so. It's gonna be interesting.
I think with them, with Hansen and Sama, you can see Iowa State maybe getting out to an early lead because they'll be able to run the ball better because they return those guys that can get you 2 or 3 yards after contact because they're big guys.
Yardage.
And it's an easy thing to rely on, especially for a passing offense, which, as you said, lost their 2 weapons last year.
Yeah.
Higgins and Knoll were 2 1,000-yard receivers, and they really brought Rocco Beck to new heights. In a way.
They did.
They really helped him
They did.
elevate his game. And now
A lot of questions.
Now they don't have either of those guys.
Yeah.
They have East Carolina transfer Chase Sowell,
Yeah.
who is big. He's 6'3", but it's East Carolina. He had 678 receiving yards at East Carolina. It's a lot of a different game.
It is.
You also have a sophomore receiver starting for the first time. He had 17 yards receiving last year. 3-star recruit Brett Eskildsen, I think is how you say his name. Could be wrong about that, but Brett, we'll just say Brett for now, is very inexperienced.
I'm pretty sure you pronounced it right. I think sure that was right, man.
I appreciate that. And then Xavier Townsend is a UCF transfer. He's coming off an injury. He was a pretty good recruit. He was a 4-star recruit, but again, only 325 yards in his best year at UCF. He'll be in the slot.
Yeah.
But Rocco does not have a safety net out there in the wide receiver group to rely on when he needs someone the most. So that might hurt them more in the fourth quarter if it's a close game and they're looking to throw the ball. But we'll have to see. The game will develop the way it develops, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Iowa State was last year. Their offensive line was 5th in the Big 12 in sacks allowed, so they did a good job in pass protection. Tyler Miller is their returning right tackle. That guy,
he's good.
Is 6'9", 335 pounds. That's a big dude. So his right side, Rocco's right side, should be really solid. They got first-year starters on the left side of the offensive line, but they returned most of their offensive line.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. An interesting stat that I found out when I was looking at Iowa State. Defensively, we're
going right to defense?
We're going right to defense.
Oh.
You don't want to go right to defense?
No. They're probably tight ends I'm kind of high on.
Iowa State's tight ends?
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Brody's Brahmer and Gabe Burkle. Say Burkle? I think that's right. They were really good last year. I played with them in College Football 26 the other day. They're solid. Play versus a little like Iowa, and they're solid. I think they played a lot last year, so you have those guys, that you can maybe go to, because Rocco's got a completely brand new wide receiving course. So you've got those guys, kind of to go to. We can go to the defense now.
No, that was a great point. I like that.
So
someone's got to step up. Could be one
no,
of
absolutely.
those tight end
Could be one of those tight ends. So
definitely.
See.
Well, defensively, the Cyclones overall were 9th in yards allowed per game in the Big 12, so pretty much in the middle. And I looked at that and I said, okay, so they must have been pretty okay stopping the run and stopping the pass. They were 1st in the Big 12, the best team in the Big 12 at stopping the pass. So they were great in the secondary.
Yeah.
But they were 15th, second to last in the Big 12 against the rush. And it kind of shows. They have some good linebackers that are returning that could help out, but their defensive line, I think, is the weak point of this team.
Yeah.
A lot of guys in the NFL draft prospect world really like Dominic Orange, nose tackle, who's 6'4", 230 or 325. He's one of the highest rated defensive tackles in the 2026 NFL draft class. To be honest, I don't see why. He only had 24 tackles last year, and that's the most he's had in his career. He's only sacked the quarterback once. I don't see why people like him so much. Maybe it's because he's just a big dude, but they must be seeing something I'm not. He was only a 3-star recruit out of college. I don't trust him to make that much of an impact on this game. Their other D linemen really haven't showed out that much. They have a transfer from Yale starting at defensive end. I don't know how impactful a guy from Yale is going to be when he steps right onto the field.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that they're going to struggle against the run throughout the season, and Kansas State's a team that runs the ball pretty well. So that, in my eyes, is the weakness of Iowa State's team.
Something you worry about if you're a Cyclone fan.
Definitely is. But I think the strength of this Iowa State team is secondary. Their secondary is loaded.
Yep.
Here's another interesting stat. The Cyclones, in terms of getting to the quarterback, in terms of sacking the quarterback, again, were last in the Big 12. They got the quick wardrobe change. We had some technical difficulties last night, but we're back now, and we're ready to keep on rolling with the Iowa State-Kansas State preview. So with Iowa State, we talked about the offense already. Then we just started talking about the defense. And the defensive line, we said, is the weak point. And, they were dead last in the Big 12 in sacks. They didn't get to the quarterback. They even struggled to stop the run, like we said. They were second to last in the Big 12 in stopping the run. So that defensive line definitely should be the weak point of this team. But then that leads us into the strength of this team, in my opinion, especially defensively. What do you got as the strength?
The secondary. What they've got there with Jontez Williams, Jeremiah Cooper, I think those are probably pros someday. They could go to the draft in the 2026 draft if they want to. And they were great last year. And I'm looking, and I feel like that is definitely the best part of this entire pro team, I'd say. Maybe like that's their best, what am I trying to say?
Their best strength?
Their best,
I agree. I mean, if you look at last year, they led the Big 12 in opponents' passing yards per game. So they were the best against the pass in the Big 12 throughout the 2024 season.
Wow. And
that is with being the last in sacks.
Yeah.
So not only they didn't get to the quarterback at all, which would help out their secondary.
Great coverage. Yeah.
So they were able to cover extraordinarily well in man coverage and in zone coverage.
Yeah.
You mentioned Jontez Williams, Jeremiah Cooper. Those two guys are studs. Williams, the corner position. Jeremiah Cooper, converted wide receiver.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
I know. He was a wide receiver in high school, and they just converted him to strong safety, and it worked beautifully. He's a true senior. He had 48 total tackles last year, 2 interceptions and 8 passes defended. He was great. I expect him to be great again this year. They really returned the shell of what made them really, really good last year in the secondary. So that should be a definite point of emphasis for this game and for this team all season long.
Wide receiver converted. That just is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Bro, coaching is ridiculous. Matt Campbell is an unbelievable coach.
He is.
Like, his ability to develop is absurd.
Definitely. And with this team, and Kansas State as well to a certain extent, but it seems Iowa State more, they really focus on developing players and getting 3 stars, maybe not as much 4 stars, in their system and getting the most out of them. And that is the way that college football has run for years, not as much in the recent history. So it's refreshing to see that culture that the Cyclones have developed. So now we inch over to the Wildcats, to Kansas State. And if you are a fan of college football and you watch a pretty good amount, the first name you think of when you think of Kansas State this year and last year is Avery Johnson, their starting quarterback. Great recruit out of high school, 95 out of 100 stars on 24/7 Sports, really, really high 4-star. And he came in, they had big expectations for him. They thought that he was going to take their team and their offense to new heights. He could contend maybe for the Heisman Trophy. He could be this generational best quarterback Kansas State has ever had. Last year, he was a true sophomore. And in my opinion, I am here to say that Avery Johnson is a good quarterback with a lot of potential, but I think he's a little overrated.
I agree.
And I think that he struggles to push the ball down the field. I think he makes a lot of mistakes. He had 10 interceptions last year. And I just think that he is a little overrated. I'm not saying he's bad. He's a great quarterback. He had 2,700 yards passing last year with 25 touchdowns and added 7 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, I agree. I think Avery Johnson's overrated as well. Like some have said, he's the best quarterback in the conference. That's crazy to me. Like I think he's probably top 5. I'd say. Like that's pretty fair. Maybe top 3. But he's not number 1, and was super inconsistent at times last year. Like was solid in their. I think they put in the guaranteed rate bowl, whatever. And it, was really good versus Rutgers, but there was also times where he was terrible. They lost 38-9 versus Brigham Young, versus just BYU, and he was not good in that game as well. So it's just weird. I don't know what quarterback we're going to see.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree, and I mean, especially when you look at how good, how deep, and how experienced Iowa State's secondary is, it could be tough for Avery Johnson to have a good day passing. Luckily, he does have a bit of a safety net in Jace Brown.
Yep.
That dude is probably the best wide receiver that's going to be on the field in Ireland. He was great last year, had 823 yards receiving for the Wildcats, added 5 touchdowns. He was a big play threat. He's got great speed, got great route running. He really knows how to find those soft spots in the zone, and he's a guy that you can trust against man coverage to create separation, which is what you need when you're going against an experienced secondary like Iowa State's, and when you don't have a quarterback that is unbelievably elite. So I think that he could make some big plays down the stretch and also just provide some consistency to the passing game. Alongside him, they got a couple transfers at wide receiver. Jerome Tibbs, Jerand Bradley. I don't really know how much I trust these guys. I mean, they're there. They're kind of Band-Aids. Transfer from Purdue, transfer from Boston College. They're not bad, but they're not spectacular. So we'll see if they can get into a groove this season. But this first game, Jace Brown should be the main target. And then the run game for Kansas State. Interestingly, last year, the Wildcats were 11th in passing yards per game and 2nd in rushing yards per game. So they ran the ball really well. They led the conference in yards per carry. And they returned Dylan Edwards, dynamic running back.
Yeah.
And if you don't know about Dylan Edwards, you should go watch Colorado versus TCU in Week 1 of 2023 because he took that game over. He was flying around the field.
He's great.
And he didn't really do much.
Nobody knew about him either.
No, he was broke onto the scene that game.
Yeah,
and then after that game, he really didn't do much in Colorado. Didn't have a great role. So last year he transferred to Kansas State. And as a sophomore at Kansas State, he had 546 rushing yards and 5 touchdowns as a backup.
Yeah.
But most importantly, he averaged 7.4 yards per carry.
Yeah.
So he was explosive.
Ran well.
He was a big play type of runner. If you got it to him out in space, he was going to make people miss. He was going to blow by people. Super fast, super dynamic. Could break out a big run in this game against Iowa State.
I can see it.
I can see it too. I think that he could make some big plays in this Week 0 game to really impact it. And throughout the season, he should make some big plays. So he's definitely a guy to look out for. And then we got the tight end position at Kansas State. I know
they love their tight ends. I mean, they love their tight ends. And they just got the number 1 recruit in their conference that is also a tight end, which is huge. So number 1 recruit. He was a 5-star on some sites and he wasn't on others, but they love to use their tight ends, and they're going to use good old Garrett Oakley, who I feel like has been there for forever. I feel like I've heard that name for a while. I think it's just because Alabama played him in the Sugar Bowl, and that was like a name I heard, watching that game. But look for them to use the tight end a little bit, because this wide receiving core, other than Jace Brown, pretty unproven, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Could be a nice safety net for Avery Johnson.
Sure.
And now we're going to turn our gaze to the offensive line. Last year, Kansas State's offensive line was unbelievably good. They were second in the Big 12 in sacks allowed. So they barely allowed any sacks. And as I mentioned before, they were first in yards per carry. So their run blocking and pass protection were both elite in the Big 12. I think that to an extent will continue this year because I think their coaching is really, really strong. Kansas State always seems to really dominate the line of scrimmage in the Big 12.
Really good schemes.
Really good schemes. They've had a lot of great rushing years in the past. I think that will continue. They returned some of their interior offensive linemen with Sam Hecht and Taylor Poitier. Those guys should bring back that standard.
Yeah.
And they got a couple transfers. I don't know if I love the tackle position here.
Yeah.
It's a little unproven.
Yep.
You got some inexperienced guys. You got a transfer from Pittsburgh who was a backup tackle at Pittsburgh, so that's not a great sign.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily for the Wildcats, they're going against Iowa State's pass rush.
Yeah.
And Iowa State's pass rush is like a high school pass rush, so they don't have to worry about that as much in this game. So I'm not worried about.
It was last year.
It was last year.
We'll see.
And I don't know if they improved it very much, but we will see.
That's why they play the game.
So I think this could be a concern for Kansas State down the road, but maybe not in this first game.
Yeah.
Running the ball should be the key to opening up Kansas State's offensive success throughout the season, and I think they should be able to do it with a good offensive line interiorly and an explosive running back in Dylan Edwards.
I agree.
Now we look at the defense, and to start the conversation about Kansas State's defense, in my opinion, you have to start with their middle linebacker, Austin Romaine. This guy, as you have said, could be the best linebacker in the Big 12.
Yeah.
He's amazing. He had 96 tackles last year. He's a true junior. 2 sacks, 3 forced fumbles. He was all over the field.
Yeah.
All over the field. This guy's a stud. He can tackle, he can cover, and most importantly, in my opinion, he's an experienced leader on the defense.
The quarterback of the defense.
That's right, quarterback of the defense. And as when you're going into your first game of the year, you need someone like Romaine who's experienced, who knows how to win in these situations. And I think the defense will run through him. He can get everything coordinated and everything like that. I think that having Romaine back is not only big for the whole season, but it's huge for their first game.
First few games.
So I think that's going to be a big jump for Kansas State right out of the gate. It's a big advantage they have over Iowa State is Austin Romaine.
Gotcha.
Their defensive line is pretty solid. No one really stands out on the defensive line, so maybe someone will break out last year. They were second in sacks last year, so they got to the quarterback a lot, but they lost a lot of that production.
Yeah. I know Alalio, I think that's how you say his name. I know, that guy was pretty good last year. I think that's how you say his last name. I know that guy was good, but everyone else, pretty unproven. So we're going to see somebody can get some pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, definitely.
Rocco Beck.
They were really good last year against the run, so I think that will continue.
Run stuffers.
Definitely. It's just getting to the quarterback might be a little slow right out of the gates because they lost a lot of their main pass rushers. Another guy that they have that's experienced, had 64 tackles last year, really flew around as well, is VJ Payne. Strong safety. He's big, he's 6'3", he can tackle really well. Just another experienced guy that knows this defense, that knows the schemes, that knows how to play good Big 12 football. And I think having Romaine and Payne is really going to go a long way for their success in the first part of the season. But when you look at the rest of the secondary,
Pretty unproven.
it is pretty unproven. A lot of first-year starters.
Yeah.
A lot of guys that haven't gotten much reps in, some younger guys, and that's going to be interesting to watch because this secondary is on the weaker side, especially when compared to the rest of their team. So if there's a lack of talent anywhere with the Wildcats and their team, I would say that it's in the secondary.
Okay.
So we'll see if Rocco Becht and these receivers can take advantage of that or not. That'll be a really important matchup to watch the inexperienced Iowa State receiving core
Yeah.
versus the inexperienced Kansas State secondary.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what happens there.
Interesting. It's so interesting. It's so close, I feel like.
This game's going to be awesome.
It's going to be really good. Super evenly matched, I feel like. Just going to be a lot of fun.
All right.
And it's in Ireland.
Yep, and what's more fun than Ireland?
I know. Come on.
All right. First game picks of the year.
Well, no. The Kansas game.
Yeah, but these are the first games.
This is the first
official
real
big time game.
This is a big time game. This is a big time game. And nobody's been really talking about it. So we're going to go ahead and
we
throw
are.
our predictions out there.
Will, I'm going to give the
first.
baton to you. Go for it. Who do you got? Kansas State, Iowa State.
I went back and forth. I've kind of gone back and forth. I looked at this game super closely in August, like early August. And that was really, really hard then. It's even harder now, I feel like. It's even harder now. It's super evenly matched. Both have so many similarities, I feel like. I am going to lean with KSU. K-State, they're going to do enough. I think it's going to be kind of a low, I feel like this could be like a 21-20. Type of game. So not like a ton of just points, but not like a low amount. So just kind of right in the middle. I just feel like they can run it a little better, and I feel like the Cyclones can't. I mean, they were not very good versus. Was it the run that they were not very good against, or was it the
Iowa
pass?
State, they're really good against the pass. They're not really good against
That's what I thought. Okay. So, like, I just feel like, like Edwards will run really well. I don't know if they even have to use Johnson all that much. So I'm going to go KSU in a tight one. I feel like they win by, like, 1 or 2 points. Like, it is so tight, I think, because I think the spread right now is KSU -3.
It is.
So, like, it could be, like, that close. So, going to be a great game, but I'm going with the Kansas State Wildcats to win. They do enough. They are 1-0.
I like that. And what a start to the year that would be if Kansas State won by 1 point in Ireland over Iowa State.
I know. See it.
I agree with you. I think it's going to be close. Matchups like this in the Big 12 are always close. They always give us so many good games. I'm expecting a good one.
Wide open.
I think it could go any way, to be honest. And I've gone back and forth on this game. I like both teams. I think both teams have a good amount of talent and experience to where they could definitely win this game. I would not be shocked if it goes either way. But in my opinion, I think Iowa State's experience in the run game is going to get them out to an early lead. I think they're going to have the momentum going out of the first quarter. And then I think Kansas State's defense is going to settle into the game and start to play sound football. And Avery Johnson, Dylan Edwards, and this offense is going to make some plays. And I think maybe Jace Brown is going to make an impact second quarter, third quarter. I think it's going to be close. I think it might be a little higher scoring than I think Will might have it. But I think we go into the fourth quarter in a very close game. And I think someone on this Cyclones wide receiver core or tight end group, whether it's Chase Sowell or Xavier Townsend or whoever it may be, is going to step up and make a big play, create separation, whatever it is. And there might be a bust in the Iowa State or the Kansas State secondary, whatever it is. I think Rocco's going to take advantage of it. I got Iowa State making the big play late and beating Kansas State in a classic in Ireland.
See it.
Again, it could go either way. If Kansas State wins, I will not be surprised. But hey, this is fun. We both have different teams picked to start it off.
Man.
So one of us is going to be 1-0, and then one's going to be 0-1.
I guess so.
So we'll see. I guess I'm a Cyclone this weekend.
Yep.
So that's what we got for Week 0 preview. There's some other games that we didn't talk about, but I don't think anyone's talking about those. UNLV might do something crazy, but I don't know.
Versus Idaho State.
I guess that's
I think about Idaho State. I know they play a team in orange and black that is not a very generous school. So I think it's Idaho State, but I could be wrong.
It could be. So if you want to watch that game, go for it. No one's stopping you. And it's college football. College football is going to be back tomorrow.
Isn't that crazy?
I'm so excited about it.
Insane.
So that's not all we have for y'all today with this podcast. I've got my playoff predictions. I've got my bracket, And I've got my 12 teams. I'm excited about it. Now this will be the second year.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited about it too. I think it's gonna be great. But this is the second year of the 12-team format.
Yeah.
Last year there were some problems
They
with it.
cleaned up some things.
They cleaned it up. I think they did such a good job with eliminating. Then now it's straight seeding,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be so much better. You know, last year of course you had Oregon having to play Ohio State, and then you had Penn State just cruising on to the semifinals. It was ridiculous. This year I think with the straight seeding it's gonna make a lot more sense. It's gonna be way better.
Okay.
So let's get into it.
All right.
At my number one team, I have the champions of the SEC. I have this team taking down the Georgia Bulldogs in the SEC championship. If you've watched our SEC preview, you know that I'm high on this team, that this team is amazing. They're so talented. Their defense is spectacular. I got the Texas Longhorns at number one, headed into the college football playoffs. Not really a shocker there. They're number one in the AP poll. I think they're going to have a great year. I think that's enough said about Texas.
What a boring pick.
It is a little bit of a boring pick. I hate that it's
Dude,
such a boring pick.
They have
but I
such a good
to-
roster. I mean, they have an unbelievable roster. Sark is a mastermind as a coach. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's tough to pick against them. And I think Texas is going to win, not because Arch Manning is going to be amazing. I think Texas is going to win
But they got a
with Arch Manning.
Yeah.
And then at number two, I got my Big Ten champion.
Okay.
I think there's a clear top tier in the Big Ten. I think everyone kind of knows this. With Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon. Ohio State has to play Penn State. Oregon has to play Penn State. Penn State has to play both teams in the regular season. I think that Oregon is going to lose to Penn State, and I think Penn State is going to lose to Ohio State in the regular season. And I think that we're going to have a Big Ten championship of Ohio State versus Penn State. And I got the Buckeyes beating Penn State twice and winning the Big Ten, and getting that number 2 spot. So that's going to be interesting because if Penn State loses twice to Ohio State, the college football world might still be talking about how James Franklin cannot win the big game heading into the playoffs, which will just be another fascinating narrative in this whole thing. So I got Ohio State losing to Texas in week 1 and then going undefeated the rest of the way.
Okay.
So I got Ohio State at number 2 and Texas at number 1. Shockers, I know. Now at number 3, I got another conference champion. Sort of from a weaker conference, but I think this team returns so much talent. I love their coach. I really like just the way this team is built, and the identity and the culture that they have over there in South Carolina. I got the Clemson Tigers, champions of the ACC. I got them going 12-1 and snagging that 3 seed in the college football playoffs. So getting a bye, which is big. Great season
With
for
the
Clemson.
win over what?
I got them beating LSU at the beginning of the
Okay.
year. And then I have them winning every game. I think they're going to maybe have some trouble with Georgia Tech on the road,
I can see it.
which is an early game, so we'll see. And then I have them losing to Louisville because,
Right.
I mean, they got smoked by Louisville last year. At home, too.
Dude, Isaac
And-
Brown.
Yep, Isaac Brown, and they got Miller Moss.
now.
I like that team.
Got a good roster.
It's in Louisville.
Yeah.
I think Clemson might stumble there. It's later in the year. We'll see.
Yeah.
So I got Clemson at number 3. And then at number 4, my last bye team. Now remember, this is straight seeding, so this can be, and this isn't a conference champion.
Yeah.
But I got the runner-up in the SEC. At 11-2, I got the Georgia Bulldogs. I talked about in the SEC preview, I think the winner of the Georgia-Alabama game will make the SEC championship game. In this world, in this simulation, in this season, I have Georgia winning. Now that, I could be completely wrong. Alabama could win, and I would not be surprised. I think they're so talented. Those teams are so similar. But I have Georgia beating Alabama. But then, 2 weeks later, I have them losing to Auburn on the road in Jordan-Hare,
You do?
which would be crazy.
A lot of people do.
That's what I've heard.
Really?
But I think that's going to happen. I think Georgia's going to beat Alabama and then lose to Auburn, which would be crazy.
That would be wild.
Hugh
Freeze, that would be huge for him. I mean, regardless of what happens, because we don't know what's going to happen with them. They could go and she's 11-1. They could go out and just have a terrible record again, and
They could.
that would be huge.
it
For
would
Auburn.
definitely keep him around.
Yeah, I think so.
So I think
You win against Georgia.
it would be the biggest win under his
Yeah.
tender. It'd be the biggest win for Auburn in a while, and they would go crazy.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I got Georgia at number 4, having a great year. At number 5, so those are my 4 teams with buys: Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia.
Okay.
At number 5, the first team that's gonna have to play on that first college football playoff weekend, I got the Penn State Nittany Lions, who I think are going to be the runner-up in the Big Ten. They're going to lose to Ohio State twice.
2 losses.
I got them beating Oregon, so I got them only losing to Ohio State. I think Penn State's so talented. I think they're ready. I really like the things that I've heard from James Franklin this offseason. They're a great team, so I got them at number 5.
Okay.
The runner-ups in the Big Ten. Number 6, this is where things get interesting. I've got a team that I don't think is going to win a conference championship. I got them going 11-1 and missing their conference championship.
Crazy.
And no, this is not Notre Dame. This is Alabama. I got the Crimson Tide losing to Georgia and then winning the rest of their games. I just think that they're that talented at wide receiver, at corner, at defensive line, at linebacker.
Yeah.
This team is loaded. They're stacked. We've done a whole Alabama preview. If you want to hear our in-depth opinion on Alabama, go check that one out.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think this team is so good. They're going to be scared. If I'm a team in college football, I don't want to play Alabama. They're so talented. And it's crazy that they can go 11-1.
11-1 and miss the conference championship in the SEC.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm not saying that's going to happen.
I don't know if it'll happen, but it could happen, man.
Mm-hmm. It's
As
my
you said.
prediction.
Yeah, it's your prediction, man.
So, would it surprise me if Alabama goes 10-2 or 9-3? No.
Go.
But I think that they should win every game other than Georgia. And I'm not even saying that they're going to, I think Alabama-Georgia is a toss-up. And then after that game, I think they should be favored in every one of their games.
Okay.
Now, number 7. I got a team that made the playoffs last year, that shockingly had a great run in the playoffs last year, to some. And I think they're poised to have another great year. They got a little bit more of a challenging schedule than in the past, especially at the beginning of the year.
I know who this is.
Who do you got?
Notre Dame, right?
The Irish, the Fighting Irish, baby. New logo, but same identity, same team.
New, brand new leprechaun logo.
Brand new Leprechaun
Brand
logo.
new leprechaun logo.
That's
Which
right.
I like it. I
It's
feel like
carrying
it's
a
cool.
football now. I don't know.
I feel like it's cool.
It used to be the Fighting Irish, but no, it's just the football Irish.
Yeah, I understand.
It's fine. It looks cool, so I don't have any hate towards it. I do love Notre Dame. I love their culture over there. I love Marcus Freeman. He's just a great football coach.
He's incredible.
I don't love their quarterback situation right now. The fact that they haven't picked one out. I thought CJ Carr.
Carr's not the leader, apparently.
That's what
it's
I
that
heard
other
too.
guy. What? Always forget his name. I'm gonna have to look in this book again.
Well, I thought that CJ Carr was going to win the job in the
Yeah.
summer and just run with it. And I thought he had the potential to be much better than Riley Leonard ever was, but he
Yeah,
struggled
really.
a lot.
A lot of people have said that. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. So
I don't know. I thought Riley was great. Kenny Minchie.
Kenny Minchie, that's right.
Never remember
Kenny
his
Minchie.
name, but he is apparently the leader in the quarterback. I don't know. It could have changed. It was like a week ago whenever I read that, so it could have changed. But would be crazy if Kenny Minchie's their guy.
I agree.
Play versus Miami. So
It would be wild. They got Miami and A&M to open up the year, which is crazy. I'm picking Notre Dame to win both of those games because I think they're more talented. And I think that they return a lot of guys that know how to win. I think early in the year that's going to prove very well. But those are going to be 2 fascinating games to watch.
Sure.
A&M was an awesome game last year, and I expect it to be again this year in South Bend. They're going to play Miami in Miami, which, it's going to be a raucous environment, but half the people there are going to be Notre Dame fans. So we'll see.
Dude.
I think it's going to sort of feel more like a neutral site game.
I feel like it will too.
But still, I mean, that's a big rivalry in college football.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Catholics versus
Catholics,
convicts.
yeah.
So that's going to be a fun one. I'm picking Notre Dame to win both those games. I'm picking them to go 11-1. I would pick them in every game, and I would love them to go 12-0 undefeated.
Yeah.
But I mean, last year they beat A&M and then they lost to
No,
Northern
you
Illinois.
You can't predict it.
I can't in my red mind.
I mean, and they have got a couple like harder games. I mean, they got a couple like it's a crazy little schedule. They got to play at like Arkansas,
Random game.
which is not like a hard game, I wouldn't say, but it's just a random one, and you just never know with the Irish. So they play A&M, they get a bye, and then they play an interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it's an interesting
They get a
schedule.
bye right away, basically.
And they do have 2 SEC games this year. A lot of people in the past accuse Notre Dame of having a weak schedule.
Yeah.
Not this year.
Not this year.
They challenged themselves.
They do.
Now number 8. Number 8 team in the country. So this is the last team that gets to host a playoff game.
Right.
I've got another team that's not going to win their conference and not make their conference championship. I got this team going 10-2. I think they're super talented. One of the most talented teams in the country. This is why I have them going 10-2. Do you have a guess who it might be? Number 8.
10-2, not making their conference championship. Is it Oregon?
It's the Oregon Ducks.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Attaboy. So I got Oregon at number 8. A lot of people are saying Dante Moore is inexperienced. He's not going to be good. He's going to be good. I really trust Dante Moore to be good.
Really? You do?
I do. He was a great recruit. He was okay at UCLA his freshman year.
I don't know, dude.
Yeah. Well, I think him transferring to Oregon, learning under Dylan Gabriel, and Dan Lanning and the Oregon staff have said great things about him.
Okay.
I really like Dante Moore. He's got a great offensive line. He's got a great running back. He'll be able to rely on the run game with Mekhi Hughes. I like Oregon. I like Oregon's defense. Dan Lanning has done an unbelievable job with that program. So I got Oregon making the playoffs again, this time at number 8. So they lost to the 8 seed last time. Now they are the 8 seed. So we'll see if they can make some more noise. Which leads us to our number 9 team. This is the final SEC team that I have making the playoffs.
Okay.
Going 9-3. I think this team has a Heisman contending quarterback. I think this team has one of the elite defenses in the country. I've been so excited about this team since the beginning of the offseason. I think they're underrated. Give me, at number 9, the Oklahoma Sooners.
Oh my. Boomer.
Give me Boomer Sooner
Boomer.
to make the playoffs at number 9,
Dude.
which is crazy.
I like that pick. No, I like that.
I mean, you
I
look
like
at their schedule and you're like, wow, this is going to be a playoff team. I think that they're going to go into Red River undefeated. I think they're going to beat Michigan and Auburn. And I think they're going to play Texas. And how much hype would that be if undefeated Oklahoma were playing Texas might not be undefeated too. They got to play at Ohio State and at Florida.
Yeah. Very well.
But if Oklahoma's undefeated and Texas is a one-loss or undefeated team, that'll be a top 10 matchup in Red River.
Man.
I can't wait for that if that's the case. That's going to be an awesome game. Tough to pick now. I mean, I do have Texas winning, but I think Oklahoma, the rest of their schedule is manageable. I think they lose to Texas, at Alabama, and Ole Miss at home.
Okay.
I think they got 3 losses, and I think the season is going to come down to at home actually in Norman in the final week of the regular season against LSU. I think you got 2 3-loss teams playing each other. I think the winner of that goes to the playoffs, and I have the Sooners prevailing in that big time game to make it to the playoffs. So
Brian Kelly and LSU are out.
I don't have LSU making the playoffs.
Brian Kelly would hear some heat down there in Louisiana because there was some last year, and if they underachieve, I mean, it's gonna be just as bad this year.
No, I agree. And I'm sorry to do this to LSU because
It's crazy.
I don't know. I like their team a lot. I think their defense is being slept on. I think it's going to be great. I have a very sweet, loving grandmother who went to LSU, Mayor, who I love with all my heart. But I have the LSU Tigers narrowly missing out on the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my number 10 team.
Okay.
At number 10, I have champions of the Big 12. I think the Big 12 is wide open. I think any number of teams could win. I think Utah, Kansas State, Iowa State, Kansas, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Colorado could pop with Kansas Salter. I think anyone could win that league, even TCU. So my pick, I'm going with experience. I'm going with coaching. I'm going with Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson, and I am picking Arizona State to win it back-to-back years.
That's smart.
I mean, I think it's just a smart pick for now.
Safe pick.
If this is the one where I feel like least confident about because it's the Big 12. Anything can happen, which is why I'm so excited to watch Iowa State take on Kansas State this weekend. It's going to be our first taste of Big 12 football.
It's great, man.
I really like this roster at Arizona State, so
yeah, I
got them at number 10. Which leads me, I'm going to start with number 12, my group of 5 team. I've gone back and forth on this one. I really like Boise State. I think they're great. I've thought about South Florida. I've thought about Tulane. I like all these rosters, but I decided to just throw them all out the window, and I'm going with my fun pick. The team I want to make it from the group of 5. At the 12th spot, give me Navy. Give me the Navy midshipmen, man. You get Blake Horvath back. If you want to watch just fun play calling and just awesome triple option football and just
guard
satisfying, guard pulling.
Guards,
it's so fun
they
to watch.
do it all.
Go watch Navy. They're so much fun.
It's awesome to watch.
So I got Navy just because I think that would be awesome.
Man, they gotta play Notre Dame though.
They do gotta play Notre Dame, so we'll see. They got smoked last year by Notre Dame.
Keep it close though. They could probably make it in.
Definitely.
But last year they just did not match up well at all.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't really close ever.
No. And they were undefeated going into that game.
They were a top 25 team.
They were. And then they got smoked, and then the whole season sort of fell off the rails. Oh. So this year, if Navy can, as you said, stay close with Notre Dame, that can give them the juice to finish off the season well. And they can beat Army and win the American and make the playoffs. I think that would be awesome. So that's who I've got at number 12. Now number 11. This is the last at-large bid. I've been back and forth between 2 teams. First team that I've been thinking about is the ACC runner-up, who I think is going to be Miami. Miami's going to be 10-3. I think they're going to lose to Notre Dame, lose to Florida, but be great in the ACC. I think they're going to lose to Clemson in the ACC championship. I think they're talented. I really like this defense, especially the defensive line and how much they improved in the secondary.
Yeah.
Offensive line should be great. I think Miami is being a little slept on, but a lot of people are really talking high about Miami, so slept on might not be the right word. I think Carson Beck is going to be solid. I don't think he's going to win the Heisman Trophy. I don't think he's going to be this god-awful quarterback. So I've got Miami having a good year. I think it's going to come down to them and my sleeper team. This is like my mega sleeper team. I think it could be this year's Indiana.
Okay.
Out of the Big Ten, I really like the Minnesota Golden Gophers.
What?
To contend. Minnesota. I love their defense.
Wow.
They're loaded. I'll talk more about this later.
Coy Parrish, right?
Coy Parrish is that free safety. That guy's dog.
I've heard of it.
He's true
I
sophomore.
gotta look at this.
They're my sleeper team. Unfortunately, I have Minnesota falling just short because they have to play Ohio State and Oregon on the road. I don't know if they can win those games. I think Minnesota's going to have a great year, but I think Miami's going to just barely get the edge and make the playoffs as our last at-large bid.
Dude, I don't know.
We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about Minnesota later.
Their defense is great.
Oh, it's spectacular.
Easy schedule. I mean, not
they
a
can
super
run
hard
the
schedule.
football.
Not like a super hard schedule, I wouldn't say.
And they can
They
run the
get
ball.
Rutgers, Purdue, Nebraska, MSU, Wisconsin at home.
I think all those games are winnable. I think that Wisconsin,
all
or not
those home
Wisconsin,
games.
Minnesota runs the table and has a great year.
All right.
So that sets up the bracket.
Wow.
Of course, I got Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia with byes.
Oklahoma, Oregon.
So our first round games, we got Oklahoma going into Autzen Stadium.
That's the best game.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be Saturday night.
Yeah.
It's going to be Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit. That would be an unreal playoff game.
Dude, that would, so many points. I would expect a lot of points.
We'll see. Both defenses are talented too.
That is true.
I got Arizona State going to South Bend. Arizona State, of course, would be the underdogs in that game, but it would be a good one.
It would be a good one, I think. Yeah.
They gave Texas a run for
interesting.
money last year, so we'll see if they can do the same with Notre Dame.
It would be interesting.
I got Miami at Alabama.
Oh,
I think that game would be awesome.
Please give us a game of Ryan Denny.
Against Miami too.
December, that'd be sick.
It would be awesome.
Playoff game.
And then I got a little rematch, or actually not a rematch because I don't have Boise State in the playoffs. I got Navy going on the road to Penn State in the whiteout. I think they might do just as well as SMU did last year.
Yeah, dude.
Unless Blake Horvath just goes nuclear.
That's a tough draw.
It is. So I got Penn State
Okay.
getting the victory.
All pretty solid games, though.
I think it'd be a great week one.
Yeah.
Or not a week one, but our first week of the college football
playoffs.
playoffs. I got Bama rolling against Miami. I think they're more talented. I think that they suffocate the offense.
So not even close.
I'd say maybe a 2-score game.
2-score game.
I
I would agree, I think.
And then I got the Irish getting it done against Arizona State.
Okay.
They're just going to run the ball really, really well. They out-talent them kind of. And then I've got the Sooners going into Autzen Stadium and shutting down Dante Moore and the Ducks. I think John Mateer puts up a great performance. And I've got Brent Venables upsetting Dan Lanning.
Dude,
and
Venables could win that game because Venables is on the hot seat as well. Like, he's one of those guys who's on the hot seat, which is crazy to me because I'm kind of like, I don't feel like Brent Venables. I don't know. That's just crazy to me.
It is crazy.
Venables is only there for a couple years now, and it's just already on the hot seat. So if he could win a playoff game like that on the road, that would be huge.
I agree.
And to even at least make the Chiefs playoff would be huge. So it's crazy.
Hey, this is
I like that
crazy.
pick. I like that as well. I like that though.
So I got Boomer Sooner over the Ducks.
Yeah.
And this is why I love the 12-team college football playoffs.
Anything
Is
can
for this right here.
Anything can
The
happen.
second weekend of
Oh,
this
okay.
bracket. If it all plays out the way that I
Alright.
think it is right here.
Let's hear it.
These are the matchups that we got. We got Georgia versus Penn State. That would be a great
It's a
game.
good game. Sure.
Then we got our 3-6 Clemson versus Alabama.
Wow.
I mean, how amazing have those matchups been?
Championship schools.
And we get to see it again.
Yeah.
Then we got in the Rose Bowl, probably Ohio
Oh.
State
Notre Dame
versus
right?
Notre Dame, a
Yeah.
rematch of the national championship.
That would be insane.
And then the Cotton Bowl.
Yeah.
I got it, the rematch. We got
Love
Red
that.
River
Texas.
Showdown
In Dallas.
in Dallas between
Oh.
the Sooners and the Longhorns
Playoff
in the
game.
playoffs. Are you kidding me?
Those fan bases, dude.
I mean, this
Oh
would be
my
this would be
gosh.
the greatest weekend of college football
Ever.
It would be so awesome because this is how it would go. It would have Georgia versus Penn State in the Orange Bowl
Orange
on
Bowl,
Friday night.
Right.
Then Saturday would open up out of the gates, right? You wake up, you watch College Game Day, and you watch Texas versus Oklahoma
Right.
in a playoff game
At
in the
11
Cotton Bowl
o'clock.
at 11 o'clock.
Like, you wake up, you roll out of bed, and you're like, Red River Rivalry playoff version this time.
Yes,
Like,
that would be so epic.
insane.
And then after you watch that game, you get to just witness the beauty of the Rose Bowl.
Rose Bowl.
Between two of the most historical programs in the history of college football with Ohio State and Notre Dame. A championship game rematch
Rematch.
in the
Wow.
second round. And then the nightcap where you get to close with some Sugar Bowl on
Bama,
Saturday night.
Clemson,
Bama Clemson.
both
I mean,
juggernauts.
My
Yeah.
goodness. Just what a day of college football.
It'd be amazing. That would be incredible.
I think this would be awesome. I'm so excited
Will it
just
happen?
looking at this.
I
right now.
hope.
I hope so too.
It might not, but I feel like there's gonna be some good matchups.
It probably
I think
this.
it's gonna be better than last year. I think the matchups are gonna be better than last year.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, this as I have it right here, the odds of it happening exactly like this are almost zero.
Arsenal, yeah.
But it could be a reshuffling of these teams. We could
Right.
see Ohio State Clemson. We could see Bama Texas. We could see a Georgia Texas SEC championship rematch
Right.
in the second round. So
Georgia versus
the second round this year, if things go the way they should be unbelievable. This is where I would like to end it because I don't want to have to pick these games because
Yeah.
these games are all so close.
Yeah, I know.
But I know people want to have a national champion pick, so I'm going to pick these games. Friday night, Georgia, Penn State. I've got the Nittany Lions.
Oh, dude.
I think that a sense of urgency is going to be placed on Penn State just because of James Franklin not being able to win the big game.
that game. Oh my
This would be
goodness.
his signature win over the Georgia Bulldogs. So I've got Penn State winning. If that's the case, Georgia still will not have won a college football
James
playoff game under the
Franklin.
new format.
And Hugh Freeze win over Georgia.
Yeah, which
That's
would be
wild.
wild.
Like, probably two guys that have received a lot of heat. I'm gonna say that, you know.
And they'd be huge for both of them.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying this is going to happen. If Georgia played Penn State and Georgia won, I would, again, not be surprised. They're so talented. Then I got my 3-6 game. I've got Clemson, Alabama. again, both these teams are so good. This is a caliber game that could be the national championship game. But if I'm looking at Clemson, Alabama, and I look at the talent that Alabama has at corner and wide receiver, and the defensive line and the linebacker position, so all three levels of the defense, and at wide receiver, I think they're a better team than Clemson. I think they're deeper. I think they have players on their team that have proven that they're elite more than Clemson has. So I've got Alabama winning in the Sugar Bowl against Clemson. Then our 2-7 game, Ohio State Notre Dame rematch. This is another game where it's so hard to pick. But I'm going to go with Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and this amazing loaded Ohio State defense. I'm picking the Buckeyes to make it to the semifinals.
All right.
And then Red River, I got an instant classic game, shootout, and I have Texas winning.
Okay.
So that leaves Texas, Penn State, and Ohio State, Alabama.
All right.
in the
Texas, Penn
semifinals.
State. Pretty good games, I'd say.
Pretty amazing
I'd say
games.
pretty good games.
I love
great,
both of
like
those games.
helmet ones also great. Like helmets.
Yeah, no, you're
Right,
right.
Texas and Chiefs, Penn State,
That's a good helmet match.
Alabama, OSU, classic.
I mean, just classic teams all around. So Alabama, Ohio State. Again, I think Alabama is one of the best teams in the country this year. I have to pick Alabama, and there would be so many storylines in that game too. I mean, you have Jeremiah versus Ryan. You have Julian Sayin playing Alabama, who we transferred from.
Yeah.
So I think this game would be unbelievable. I'm riding with Alabama. I think they're going to roll to the finals.
Caleb Downs going to
too.
beat Alabama.
Yes, that's right. I mean, that game would be awesome.
Dude, some crazy storylines.
Yeah, so I hope that can happen. If it does, I got Bama. And then Penn State, Texas is another fascinating one. I think that Penn State's sense of urgency is lost a little bit. I think Texas's remains. I've got Texas winning. And I've got a Texas-Alabama national championship game, which would be awesome. And last two times these teams played, Alabama won a close one in Austin, a dirty one, and then Texas marched into Bryant-Denny and sort of dominated that game in a way. So we got Sark versus Kalen DeBoer.
Okay.
Kalen DeBoer, I believe, is 1-0 against Steve Sarkisian. Or is it 2-0? 2-0. He's 2-0 against Steve Sarkisian.
Washington won versus Texas in the Alamo Bowl in 22.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I mean, again, this game could go either way. It's literally a coin toss for me. I think these are the two of the best, if not the two best teams in college football. That's why I have them in the national championship.
Okay.
Coaching-wise, I trust Kalen DeBoer more than I trust Steve Sarkisian in big games. For that reason, I'm going with Alabama for my national champion. But again, any of Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Penn State, Alabama, Notre Dame, Oregon, Oklahoma could win the national championship, in my opinion. I would not be surprised.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be surprised if Oklahoma won the national championship. But any of those teams are so good, are so talented. For right now, I'm picking Alabama, but it could go anyway. I would not be surprised.
Totally could.
So, I don't know about y'all, but that gets me juiced up for the start of the college football season.
It's going to be amazing.
Every time I see a bracket, it just gets me excited. I'm like, oh, it's a bracket. There's teams on it. It's college football playoffs. So, I can't wait.
Dude.
I think Will's college football playoff bracket's coming out soon.
I'll
we'll
bring
see.
it out soon. For sure.
We'll see how his goes.
Yeah.
And that's all that we got for the Week 0 preview and Robert's college football playoff predictions. So, thanks for watching. We'll see y'all later. Have a great day. Make someone smile today. And we'll see y'all later.
See ya.